Hello everyone and welcome back to another Nerdbender YouTube video. So today is the third and final part of my first Football Manager experiment, where we take a look at how Liverpool fare if we took away all of their players and staff. In this final part we're going to see how they fare in the 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th season. So if you haven't seen the first two parts, you'll see Liverpool went down in the first season, but they came straight back up and have steadily climbed the table, and they are back in Europe now, at least in the Europa League, and they have had a very high turnover of players, as they are slowly building back up to a very good side. I remember in the last episode we didn't take a look at where the Liverpool players were now. We'll do that first. They're all still playing, as far as I can see. Yep. It would kind of be sort of fancy in a way if any of them ended up going back to Liverpool, but none of them have. Joe Gomez has ended up at Man United, which is interesting. So yeah. So 7th season. How did Liverpool fare? They finished 6th again, but that wasn't enough for them to get Europa League football. I'm noticing Fulham appear to have been relegated and got Europa League football. Did they win the FA Cup? Yeah. So I think what's happened is because a team that hadn't already qualified for Europe has won the FA Cup, there's a place less in Europe for the high-ranking teams. So Liverpool miss out on the Europa League. Managed to finish 6th again, just where they were predicted, but they'll be going without Europa League football. Ernesto Valverde is still their manager. Who did they bring in this time? So they spent less money this season. I'm guessing they're now sort of starting to run out of money after spending hundreds of millions for several seasons running. So they brought in Malik Peters from Genk, Louis Smith from Feyenoord. Start to see now less real players about. Farfan, Steve Scott, another generic name, Francisco Bordin, and Sebastian Zymanski, who is a real player. And on the outs, you can see the usual trend that they buy players and then end up selling them because they don't turn out to need them. So Liverpool knocked out in the Europa League quarter-final, knocked out in the FA Cup 4th round, knocked out in the Carabao Cup 4th round. Although they did knock out Arsenal, they beat Arsenal away from home and drew at home to them, so you can start to see Liverpool slowly edging back towards where they were before. it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see if they can win the league by the end, because of course they haven't won the league in this, because this is from the start of the season which they won the league in real life. So they never got the league here. But yeah, so 3 seasons to go now. Can they get into the Champions League next season? We'll see. Okay, we are on to season 8 now, and I can already see the Liverpool job is available. Which, looking at the news, I can't see any news on Liverpool manager being sacked, but we look at the league. Liverpool finished 7th this year, so not as good a finish, and they miss out on the Europa League again. You can see sides starting to now improve more than Liverpool are, because they were predicted 6th for quite a while, but now they're predicted 7th. So, no manager now. Valverde was sacked at the end of the season. Look, who they brought in. Oh my word. They spent 176 million. For Oliver Skip. I'm just sort of going to let you look at all these players for yourself. Offense, Min Cravo, Christoph Piatek, Harrison Bruno, Jordan Bennett, Esteban Rizzo, Billy Taylor, Alan Stannard, Luke Butler, Marius Moreau, Francisco Cabrera, Marcus Vinicius, and Mark Woodland. And on the outs, you can see the usual theme that I point out: high turnover. So, how did they do in Europa League 2? Knocked out in the semi-final. Knocked out in the FA Cup 4th round. And knocked out in the Carabao Cup 4th round. So you can sort of see in the league they were quite patchy, which I guess is what cost Valverde's job in the end. There's just a lack of consistency that they're losing to teams that they shouldn't be losing to. But yeah, so I'm asking the same question a lot now. As we enter the penultimate season, can they get into the Champions League? Okay, so we're into season 9 now, penultimate season. Did they get into the Champions League so that they can even have a go in it before the experiment finishes? No. They finished 8th, but they got into the Europa League, which I'm going to take as they won a cup. They were predicted to finish 7th, so is sort of a disappointing finish in a way. Lee Johnson manages now, but he didn't. He wasn't their first manager this season. After Valverde was sacked, Luis Castro came in, managed in Portugal. You can see. Yeah, he was sacked, and Lee Johnson, who we all know in real life, he was recently Bristol City manager for a few years before being sacked. I can see he won the Europa League 2, which would have been what got them into the Europa League. In terms of transfers, they spent a lot of money again. I'll just go through these players quickly. You can just look at them. Did I just click on them twice? I don't know. But I can see good looking players. As in terms of attributes, right? They're silhouettes and computer generated images, so I don't particularly find them good looking in that way. Ronaldo Vieira, I believe he plays for Leeds in real life. So, there. And in terms of outs, there was a lot of them. They made a hell of a lot of money. I guess they sort of cleared out a lot of the people that didn't need to be here anymore. But I think through all this, does Onana still play for them? No. Did he retire? That's impossible. No, he still plays for them, he's just no longer captain, which I believe he was before. So you can sort of see patchiness in the league form, which is why they haven't gotten into the Champions League at all. But they'll play in the Europa League in the final season. So let's see how that final season goes. Okay, so we're at the end of the 10th and final season. So where did Liverpool finish? Not champions, as you can see. 9th. That's how they finished. No European football next season. They were predicted 7th. They've got to be doing better. Lee Johnson must have gone. Simone Inzaghi, now manager. Yeah. Joined in December. So they didn't really buy anyone, and they didn't really sell anyone really either. I guess the finances have just sort of hit a bit of a sort of stone wall now, in a way. But these are the players they signed. I guess in the end, the squad just wasn't good enough. How did they do in the Europa League? knocked out in the quarter-final. FA Cup, they were knocked out in the 5th round by Blackburn. And Carabao Cup, they were knocked out in the quarter-final by Everton. So, that is that for this experiment. So the lesson is, if you want to win league titles, don't get rid of all your players and stuff. I was thinking two things. One, I'm going to see what I can do to make this save available. So if you want to continue this experiment and see how it goes, then you can. And I was thinking, depending on when we get Blade's Betrayal finished, I was wondering maybe to do a 1-season save, or possibly 2 seasons, of what I would do in this situation, where I inherit Liverpool with no players or staff. Because I think it would be interesting to see. I might do it, but like I said, it depends when I finish the Blade's Betrayal, which, if you didn't know, is the series that I have been doing on Football Manager, which you may not know if this is your first time here, because like I've said in the past 2 videos, experiments do sometimes sort of tend to blow up in a way that Let's Plays don't. But that is it for the experiment. It's been fun to do, so this was my first one, and given how it's gone, I do plan to do more. Maybe not anymore this Football Manager, but we'll see. Yeah. So that is it for this video. Stay safe, thank you for watching, goodbye.